There was a time when this sound, that bright, chiming shimmer, was the coolest sound in all of recorded music. See, the 12-string electric guitar wasn't just an instrument, it was the sound of an era, but despite its popularity, just like that, it disappeared. And its downfall came from a force that no one would have seen coming. This is the incredible story of the 12-string guitar, and whether or not it may have one more song left in it. Before we dive in, I'll quickly let you know that this is your last chance to grab the Samurai Guitar Theory Modes course, and it's only $10 when you use the link in the description. See, modes are the big milestone that every guitarist needs to conquer if they want to truly unlock their instrument, but this stuff doesn't need to be difficult. In this course, we break down the modes, how they work, what they are, and how you can bring each one of them into your playing to open up a whole new level of creativity. It's your last chance to grab this course. It's only $10 when you use the link in the description. Anyways, let's talk 12 strings. So I've always been fascinated with musical trends and how they can just explode and then disappear just as quickly. And the 12 string is one of the best examples of that cycle. So check this out. The 12 string is conceptualized and thought about in the same way that a normal 6-string guitar is. And simply put, a 12 string guitar takes the normal 6 string and doubles each string. 4 of the strings are doubled up the octave, the other 2 strings are exactly the same. And so what sounds like this on a regular guitar now sounds like this on my 12 string. These pairs of strings are called choruses, and they create a natural chorus-like effect, which gives us a bigger, brighter, more present sound, which is a massive advantage back in the days before amplification. And this double-string chorus concept predates the guitar by well over 1,000 years. Ancient instruments like the oud in the Middle East used it dating back to the 600s, and through the centuries, you see this technology pop up on lutes, mandolins, guitars. Basically, if it had strings, somebody out there probably tried doubling them. It's the musician's oldest hack to get more volume. And so naturally, as the 6-string guitar evolved from its ancestors sometime in the 1800s, it's almost certain that a luthier out there was experimenting with 12 strings. You can see them pop up in the early 1900s, and they were very much a novelty item, but this was about to change. By the 1930s, blues musicians were experimenting with 12 strings, but one man made it his weapon of choice. Some called him the king of the 12 string, most knew him as Leadbelly. Legend is he got his nickname because he was shot in the gut. But Leadbelly lived the rough life of a true early bluesman. He roamed the country playing his unique blend of folk, blues on a 12 string. It was a sound unlike anything else anyone had heard before. His recordings like Goodnight Irene just capture this beautiful, raw, hypnotic power. But America being what it was back in the 30s and 40s, he was never able to capture the kind of success that his white contemporaries were able to in his lifetime. But still there were counterculture, young folk singer-songwriters like Woody Guthrie and Pete Seeger who fell in love with what Leadbelly was doing and the sound he created on his 12 string. Through this younger generation, the instrument was able to find its way onto the radios of everyday white Americans. And this is when things start to snowball. So in the late 1940s and early 1950s, we get the seismic event in the history of recorded music. Electricity changes everything, the electric guitar is born, and with that, and the technology around it, rock and roll is born. Soon after, in the 1960s, another asteroid hits the musical landscape. So there's this little band from Liverpool called the Beatles, and they take over the world. And amongst the throngs of screaming fans and the jangly pop hits, George Harrison is standing there holding something new. A 12-string Rickenbacker electric guitar. It's a sound you instantly know when you hear it. It's all over some of those early Beatles hits. It's bold, it's new, and suddenly this sound becomes the sound that everyone's got to have. Bands like the Byrds pick it up and run with it soon after, and this sound becomes the sound of the culture. It's the sound of the time. It's bright, it's hopeful, it's youthful, it's the sound of the mid-60s themselves. You couldn't turn on a radio back then without hearing that shimmer. But here's the thing, when something like this becomes so popular, chances are it's gonna burn out just as fast. And you see this phenomenon happen over and over again in music. Some new piece of technology comes out and everybody wants to use it, be it the electric 12-string, the Yamaha DX7 in the 80s. Auto-tune are some examples. catches like wildfire, but the popularity is the very thing that takes this down. When everybody is using the cool new thing, it stops being the cool new thing. And today, in 2025, we can look at the history of modern music and see this trend play out. But back in the 60s, advancements in musical technology were happening at a speed that nobody was used to. Before music technology was electrified, things happened much more subtly and slowly. Maybe an acoustic guitar body changed in size, or maybe there was a different metal used for a trumpet, but these earth-shattering revolutions were rare. Electrification happens and suddenly there's this whole new world to explore, the floodgates are open, things start moving fast, and many of the changes that took place in this era, they stuck. The electric guitar, bands performing on television, the full-length album, stuff like this. So if you're guitarist buying an electric 12-string in 1965, you're probably thinking to yourself, this is a worthwhile investment. This is going to be the sound that people are using for years to come. But what happens when there's a shift, when the world's optimism fades and the sound of music grows darker? And hey, before we move on, I'll quickly let you know, I've got a free ebook. It's a reference guide going over a number of things that I truly believe every guitar player really should know. And it's completely free. You can grab it using the link in the description. But at the back end of the 60s, things were different. Woodstock, Vietnam, the tragedy at Altamont Speedway. As far as guitar playing goes, Jimi Hendrix. And Jimmy was another one of those cultural asteroids. He redefined what the guitar was. It was loud, it was distorted, it was dangerous, it had this new swagger. Jimmy was doing things and creating sounds that no one else had thought were possible. And he set into motion the sound that everybody chased into the 70s. Heavy, distorted virtuosity. Suddenly, the brilliant, beautiful shimmer of the 12-string seemed outdated, out of fashion, and out of place. And interestingly, while the electric version lost its popularity, the acoustic 12-string was still kind of a secret weapon in many guitarists' arsenal. The acoustic 12-string intro was such a big part of arena rock. You think Hotel California, Closer to the Heart, More Than a Feeling. Meanwhile, the electric 12-string is sitting back in the shadows. But in music, sounds never really die. They just wait for someone else to discover them. In the 80s and 90s, we see this cyclical echo in popularity. The electric 12-string becomes retro cool again. And this here is a predictable pattern that we can find numerous examples of. Something new comes along, becomes overused, which means it becomes outdated, and then enough time passes and it becomes nostalgically desirable. One of the biggest rock stars of the 80s, Tom Petty, was looking to capture that bird sound, and so he brought the electric 12-string into his recordings. And for a bit, we can hear it popping up now and again, bands like REM and the Smiths. It's almost like the electric 12-string comes back for an encore. But as the years pass and we enter the internet modern age, it seems that now the 12-string, both electric and acoustic, have kind of faded into obscurity. So the other day, I walked into the guitar shop and I didn't find a single 12-string, and honestly, it doesn't surprise me. Like, I can't remember the last time I heard a 12-string in anything resembling a pop song. I mean, there's a picture of Taylor Swift playing one years back, but that's about it. And maybe the 12-string has lived out its full life cycle and is just going to be used by the occasional indie band under the radar here and there. Or maybe there's another moment there. I mean, the style and sound of the 80s came back, vinyl came back, maybe the 12-string's next. And as a lover of these things, I like to think that maybe they're just resting. They're waiting for the next generation to discover them, plug them in, strum those double strings, hear that bright chorusy shimmer that once captivated an era. And hey, maybe there's one last hurrah for the 12-string somewhere over there on the horizon. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, the 12-string, the most important instrument that everyone seems to have forgotten. And remember, you can grab my modes course. This is your last chance to do so. It's only $10. Pick that up using the link in the description while you still can. And as well, I've got the free Samurai Guitar Theory Reference Guide ebook down there as well. Until next time, thank you all for watching. Look after yourselves, look after each other, look after the planet, and for anyone else out there who loves these instruments, keep on strumming them. I'm Samurai Guitarist, and I'll see you again soon.